request Ms. Kanika Khurana to come on the stage, and I also request Ms. Swati Modani to come near the stage.
Good afternoon, everybody. Now, my name is Kanika Khurana, and I'm going to take up a Math Lab research-based activity, and I'm going to extend it on to Community Connect to bring in social integration. Before I start off, let's quickly have a look at what Mahatma Gandhi said one time about sanitation. That is, sanitation is more important than political freedom. And before I actually move on to my topic, let's look at some facts. 50 lakh students across the country do not have the facility of drinking water in schools. More than 2 lakh schools in the country do not have toilets or have dysfunctional toilet facilities, and the same facility for girls is absent in around 1,80,000 schools. In fact, 1,90,000. Similarly, 31.5% schools in the country do not have water in the girls' toilets for cleaning and flushing, which according to the government is a cause of serious issue. 49% schools in India do not have a designated hand washing space. Only 12% schools in India use soap for hand washing. 12.4% of the school academic year is missed during menstruation by the girls. Out of a total of 1,60,000 schools in Uttar Pradesh, 16,812 do not have separate toilets for boys and girls or have dysfunctional toilets. Coming to the National Health and Safety Performance Standards in Childcare and Early Education, 1 toilet for every 30 children should be put up, and a toilet without water or without proper flushing facilities does not count as a toilet. Now, coming to the activity, once I actually found these facts, it came to my mind that we can have a research-based activity on the topic if this is such an issue for the government. PM Modi in his speech on 15th August 2014 had urged the state governments to devote 1 year, all the state governments to devote 1 year for building toilets and having drinking water in the schools. Still, after 3 years, a lot of disparity still has to take place. Now, all this data was provided to us by Ministry of HRD and the Swachh Vidyalaya initiative by the government. I will just show you, this is the reference material that I actually used. This is a 60-page PDF file, right? And I shared it with the students by means of a flipped classroom. For this, I actually, if the judges want, can I just flip through it? This data actually is given by the MHRD and shows all the data in a nutshell that I actually told you. Now, coming to this was a research-based activity in terms of the data that I was giving to the students. Now, there are 2 parts to this activity. The first thing, I thought, what kind of mathematical and statistical concepts can I use here so that it becomes a bit of innovative in approach. Otherwise, there is nothing new in a regular reference material and open book text activity. So here the statistical concepts which were used, particularly for class 10, were measures of central tendency, graphical know-how, and I used my knowledge of survey sampling techniques, and I thought, let's teach the students something about simple random sampling and stratified sampling, which they're going to study in colleges or after class 12 if they happen to study statistics at higher level. And using that data, I actually made an activity for the students, which I told you had 2 parts. I used technology, a very well-known technology like Edmodo, and I shared the data through Edmodo onto them. I shared the assignment to them, and this is a very simple assignment. The reason for this being simple, I just tell you. The first question was, compare the status of availability of separate toilets for girls and boys in the following states. Now, there are a lot of states here. I made sure that that one state was taken up from each direction, north, east, west, south, northwest, and so on, especially with Daman and Diu. It's a very small union territory, but if you look at the data, the government data, 100% schools have toilets and 100% schools have drinking water facilities. And then there was an open-ended question, why do you think 100% success has still not been achieved? Then, second question was, compare the availability of water in toilets for the above mentioned states. Now, where does my role as a teacher come in? I teach measures of central tendency and everything. Now, it depends on the students how to use those measures of central tendency. Now, second part of the activity was, we went to a village called Mota, and there was a Purv Madhyamik Vidyalaya over there. We did an actual survey with the students, And this is the questionnaire that we had. Now our survey sample was around 126 students, and we gave them this questionnaire. This was a group activity. A group of 5 students had this questionnaire, and based on the basis of this questionnaire, they actually gave us sample responses. Now, if time permits, I'll show you. These are presentations which the students have given. They've used Edmodo. I have used Edmodo. This is a sample thing. And these are the surveyors in action. Now, this is the result after the questionnaire. This is the result that the students have compiled themselves. Remember, they had raw data. They used their concept of statistics. And on their own, we used to discuss, and they have discussed and compared the PMV is actually Purv Madhyamik Vidyalaya, the parameters that they got in that village with that of the country, and they gave this, and they made their own graphs. They drew some inferences that a lot of girls did not have proper sanitation facilities and so on. Now, the third part of the activity was when they went to the school, they realized that there was no source of sanitation. There was just one hand pump. If you look at the first drawing, this is using NCH software that a child has made, and he says that there is a hand pump, and one solution that this group of children has given us is that they can draw a pipeline for the hand pump and they can give it to the toilets over there so that they have enough water. And these children, they have set up a plan, and they say that the total cost is going to be around 1.5 lakh rupees. Now, what next? It's not yet over, because we are in the process of taking this project on to the district magistrate, to the municipal corporation, as well as with Rotary Club, and also we are in the process of taking this constructive social welfare activity and mathematics amalgamation, so that we students, teachers, and their parents together also can come up with some solution. Students gave us many solutions, like putting up a solar motor, using gears, using pulleys to lift water through the water lifting pumps, and then the activity is actually still in progress. And one has to get innovative in approach. The innovation here per se is not in terms of mathematical know-how of the students. Anybody can teach, everybody teaches mathematics or their subject wonderfully and innovatively. The innovation here is amalgamating regular classroom, regular teaching with a hands-on activity, which the CBSE also asks us to do in terms of research-based projects, in terms of finding action, doing action research everywhere around. And hence, facts in classroom transaction can follow quickly. Thank you.
It's a wonderful innovation, I will say.
Thank you. Any questions?
Kanika,
Ma'am?
you have prepared this PPT for 10th class.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a research scholar?
No, ma'am, I am not a research scholar. I've done masters in statistics.
Master in statistics.
Yes, ma'am.
But I think at the level of 10th standard,
Yes, ma'am.
is it appropriate or
Ma'am, actually all this, okay, ma'am, if you permit, I will show you the presentations that 2 of my groups have given me. They have used different kind of softwares. The statistics that they have used here is mean, median, mode. Where to use mean, where to use mode, where to use median for the raw data. In class 10, we teach different methods of finding out mean, different methods of finding out median for group data, for ungrouped data. What is mode? According to them, they simply study mode is as per the definition. But they do not understand that mode is nothing but the most popular item in the market. If mathematics teachers are sitting here, they would understand this. So they should know when to use this. I will like to tell you, I'm taking a bit of time. Last year in class 9, when I was teaching statistics, there was first question in the book, in the chapter is, make a group frequency table and make a graph for the given data. Now the data said that the maximum number of female deaths in the world happen due to reproductive reasons. Now this came as a shocker to the kids, because we in NCR, we live in a very developed state as far as the other areas are concerned. So they were not ready to digest the fact. They said, ma'am, in the book, is it really possible? So, and when you look at the first slide that I said, wherein they said only 12% schools in the country use soap for hand washing, when I told this to the students, they said, ma'am, sorry, we can't really digest it, it's beyond us. So when we actually went to the village, we found that 1/3 of the students used to wash hands before and after meals, and out of those 1/3, only 1/5 used detergent. They did not even have soap. 92% girls, they did not have proper sanitation facilities. They did not even know about it.
Okay, fine. If students are involving in such activity, it is good.
Thank you, ma'am.